Hello. It's been a long time since I've actually done any videos on YouTube of any sort of consequence. So I thought, as I just purchased and set up another element of my audio setup, I thought I would do a short video today just explaining for those who may be thinking about getting their own microphones, or they're in podcasting, or they're thinking about podcasting, or any sort of audio recording, the device that I picked up, and if I can lift it up here without disconnecting anything, this is it. It's called a Cloudlifter. Now, the microphone I'm using here is the Heil PR40, and it's a dynamic microphone, and basically what that means is it takes most of the sound from the front of the microphone. It does very little from the sides and around. So these microphones are great if you're in an area where you have a lot of extraneous noise, and the condenser microphones will pick that up. So unless you want to do a lot of post-production editing of your audio files, then it's probably, a dynamic microphone might be for you. The problem, and I found this, and I was sort of ignorant of this when I first purchased the Heil, was that it requires a lot of gain. And so that's sort of like it requires a lot of gain from your mixer or your preamp interface that you've got connected. And I've got the mixer down here. And so I had to turn my mixer up over 6. And when I got to a certain level, you would start hearing background hiss. So I had to turn it down, which meant at times my own audio recordings were quiet. And so in Audacity, I then had to fiddle around and raise the level after I'd recorded. And so I did some research on YouTube and found this device. It's from Cloud Microphones. It's called the Cloudlifter. And as you can see here, I've got it connected on one side to my mixer, and on the other side, with another XLR cable, it's connected to the Heil. So what's that actually do? Well, what it does is it gives the system an extra 20 to 25 dB decibels of gain, clean gain that is not going to hiss or bring up any noise levels. And so that means you can turn your interface, your mixer, down. And I've currently got my mixer, the gain set, I think, on 2. And I've got the volume up. Now, before I had to have it on at least 6 and the volume up to about 10 before, and then any further, I would get a hiss. So this device actually gives me a lot more flexibility when you're setting your levels for your volume and your gain. And it just gives you that. I mean, unless you've got a lot of money and you've bought a very expensive preamp, this might be the solution for you. There's another device called a FET head, which is actually a bit cheaper than this, that also works, I think works very well as this. What this does is when you plug it in, you need to have a mixer or an interface that provides phantom power. Now, normally you would not allow phantom power to run into a microphone like this because it could actually blow the mic. But the phantom power must power this device here. So you plug it into your mixer, your interface, switch on phantom power. Phantom power runs to the device but doesn't go any further. So there's no risk of it hitting your microphone. You then should be able to turn down your gain levels and your volume levels, and you will get much more flexibility, and you're not pushing your preamp to its very limits just to get the volume out there. This I got through Amazon, and in Australian dollars it was just a tad over $200. So I mean, it's not bargain basement cheap. And some people say, well, why didn't you get maybe a better microphone and paid some more money? The issue is not the microphone as such; it is the fact that you don't have a preamp that is powerful enough on its own. And unless you want to spend a lot more money and get, say, a broadcast quality preamp, something that you might get in a radio station, this device, the Cloudlifter, certainly suits. And all it does, as I said, is you just plug one end in, the other end in, and make sure that you got phantom power going to it. And basically that's it. There are no other knobs and switches and other stuff that you have to worry about. And certainly this initial test, it has, my preamp is now down to about 2 and my volume is about 5 or 6. But I'll do some more testing to see exactly what is the best setup for my voice and where I'm located. But certainly, so far so good. I'm very impressed with this, and it was certainly worth the investment. So that's the Cloudlifter. So if you're in the same position as I am, you might have a Shure microphone, you might have a Heil, you might have an Electro Voice, or any of those sort of dynamic mics, and you're struggling to get volume, and you're having to do a lot of work post-production to get that volume and gain, then this might be the device for you. And no, I'm not being paid by Cloudlifter or Amazon or anyone else to promote it. This is just my view of the Cloudlifter. So I hope it helped. I will do some more videos a bit later, and once I've given this a bit more of a road test, but certainly the initial test it's very good.